I know some of you can remember when they used to say, this is the last call for all alcohol. But we like to do it a little bit different for you. This is the last call for all the true believers. I want you to get your ticket in your hand. This train is heaven bound. Here we go. Brother Derek Hall. Come on, y'all, give him a hand. Come on, brother Eldon T on the tenor sax. Come on, y'all give him a hand. Now we got the maestro on the organ. Y'all got to break it down.
What's up, guys? Josh Woods here, inside linebacker for the Chicago Bears, number 55, checking in, letting you know that right now you're tuned in to Friday Night Live with my good friend, Kat Carter.
Welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Kat Carter, and I am so excited that you decided to come and hang out with me on this Friday night. Did you have a great week? Was it fun? Was it busy? Was it crazy? Well, you're in the right place. This is a stress-free zone. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We have an amazing lineup tonight. I have my good friend. He's back. He's part of the Friday Night Live family. He's been here twice already. I have national recording artist Nelson Garcia. He is here. I am so excited. He's got some new stuff he's going to be telling us about. And then later on, we're going to talk about diabetes. So we have Dr. Ronald Rembert, part of our doctors on our Preventative Measures panel. He is here tonight. So it's going to be a great time. So I'm going to do a little encouragement and then we're going to get the ball rolling. I am so glad that you are here. Are you happy? Are you sad? Be happy. Be happy. Okay. So our encouragement reads today, I would never think of stumbling around in a darkened room when I know that I can have the light by flipping on the light switch. So why would I ever wander in the dark of confusion when I can turn to God for understanding? God is the light of pure understanding that shines within me at all times. If I feel I am in the dark, I need to open the windows of my soul to let the light of God in. And God immediately fills me with the light of love and peace. At peace, I am open to creative ideas God has for me. When I act on the divine ideas I receive, I truly am a beacon of God's light in the world. And by letting my light shine, I am letting God bless and encourage others through me. Taken from the Daily Word, 365 days of love, inspiration, and guidance. I got a question for you guys. Let's see. Using the first letter of your name, what is something that makes you happy? Okay, so my name is Kat, so that's a K. So I guess I would say somebody being kind or Kit Kat, candy bar. Can I? Oh, well, okay. Okay. I'm just curious what you guys would say. Put it in the comments. I am curious. Using the first letter of your name, what is something that would make you happy? Okay. Y'all ready? You got your tea? You ready for some great music and encouragement? Here we go. My brother has 20 years of experience playing the saxophone, 10 years professionally. He is from Connecticut and he is back to bless us and encourage us. I am just so excited that he is here. Please welcome back to Friday Night Live, my good friend and brother, national recording artist, Nelson Garcia. Oh, I thought you was gonna go again, Nelson.
Encore.
Encore. Oh, he's got to put his
Okay,
headphones on.
I'm here.
Encore. We thought you were about to go again.
Good evening, guys. Thank you, Kat, for having me. Such a pleasure. I'm blessed to be here tonight.
How are you? How are you?
I'm blessed. I can't complain. Extremely blessed, highly favored. Just happy to be here tonight, and blessed to continue to do music and continue to
Yes.
doing what I love, and just taking it one day at a time. But I'm doing fantastic. Just happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Before I get started, I have got to give a special shout out. My first year students are actually on the broadcast tonight, class of 2025. They are the most awesome class. I'm so
Awesome.
excited. So they are here. So make sure you say hi to class 2025. They're first year dental students. They are doing an amazing job. Yes.
Awesome.
they
Thank
are
you guys
here.
for being here. Awesome. Thank you,
Yes.
class of 2025. Yes, what a blessing. Thank
Yes.
you.
All right. So, okay. So what were we just listening to?
So you guys just listened to a song called East Coast Drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's my prior single. We released it actually last year, May of last year, and I call it, the windbreaker. It was a song that really kind of opened up the pavement for me, opened up the way. It's my first song on Billboard. I made it all the way up to number 12 on Billboards, and it did extremely great. Everybody loved it. Radio stations were loving it. And it's really a very fun song to play. So basically my breaking ground song, if you will.
Mhm.
East Coast Drive, produced by Jacob Webb.
All right. I love the groove of that song. It was beautiful. That's that kind of music that is just
Yes.
perfect for a Friday night on Friday Night Live after a long week. You know what? You know what I thought about when you were actually playing it? A convertible on the
Uh,
coast. You know, like you listen to good music, like when you're traveling. I mean, the beat of that was just really, really beautiful. I really loved it.
Actually, when I was trying to pick a name for the song,
Hmm.
because we usually produce the songs first and then we put the title at the end. When I was looking for a title for this song, I
Hmm.
actually pictured me on the highway with my
Hmm.
window down, just driving down 95 in the middle of the night, just driving a convertible
Hmm.
and just driving down, and that's how it came. Actually, that's how the name East Coast Drive came to me, because I
Now
picture
you
myself
just
driving down the East Coast.
wow.
Yeah.
Now he didn't tell me this, guys. That's just what I felt when I
Yeah.
heard it. Well, I am just so excited to have you back on the show, Nelson. I know
Thank
that
you.
there have been some wonderful things that have happened since the last time you were on. You got married. Hey, Millie. And you got a new project out called Rejoice.
Yes. Yes,
It
I
that
do.
just came out. Tell me
Yep.
about that project.
Yeah, it's actually another single that we just released, actually October 25th, also produced by Jacob Webb. It's a very fun song, very high energy song.
Hmm.
And, I titled it Rejoice. And I titled it Rejoice based on Philippians 1:4, where it says, rejoice in the Lord, always rejoice.
Hmm.
That title came to me, again, as I was looking for a title for the song. That was the title that came into my mind, and we titled it "Rejoice," and it's a lot of fun. Radio stations are really loving it. It was picked up by Sirius XM Watercolor the first day of the campaign,
Hmm.
which really that really doesn't happen.
Hmm.
And it's a blessing. It's a great song that we really love, and I'm just grateful, to God, for giving me the opportunity to do more music and continue to release singles under Next Paradigm, which is the record label that I'm working with.
Well, you sent me a snippet of it, so do you mind if we play it for a little bit so that the viewers can hear how
Please,
beautiful this song is? We're
please.
not going to play the whole song, but we'll play a little bit of it. All right, so let me get my media director. She's going to put it on for us.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. So let me pull up. You know what? I have the cover you sent me. Let me pull it up so you guys can see it. Is it available on all platforms?
Yes, it is actually. Yes, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, all over the internet.
Nice.
So you guys can download it on your favorite outlet, and go ahead and spin it also on Spotify. It's creating a wonderful buzz. People are loving it. Over 4,000 spins already on Spotify, so that's a pretty big number for a song that we just released.
Congratulations, Nelson.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
yeah, really pretty awesome outcome. So a great song, and again, we're just proud and happy, to be able to continue doing music and doing what we love for the Lord.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now, another thing I'm always lurking on Facebook to see what you're doing. I found out that you're getting ready to go to New York. What is going on? Tell us about
Yes.
that.
Yes, on November 26th, there is a free concert. We're calling it the Latin Showcase, and it's a ministry out of New York. A good pastor friend of mine's, Pastor Moses, who has this ministry called Victoria's Records, and every year we do a concert, a free concert, right after Thanksgiving. We couldn't do it last year, obviously, because of COVID, but this year we are doing it at the International Christian Center in Staten Island, and we just go there. Different artists and musicians. We go there and, we play the music that we love, and people come and they have fun. They worship God. There's free food. And we kind of, just preach the message, through music ministry, and we just have a great time. So it's going to be a wonderful event. So if there's anybody in New York in the audience tonight, you should definitely consider that show, because it's going to be a wonderful night of a lot of great music. And a lot of wonderful gathering and fellowship. So I'm very excited about that too.
It looks like it's going to be a great time. I wish I was New York, or I wish that I could at least come and visit so that I could see that concert. That looks like that's going to be wonderful. Are they going to be video? Is it going to be streaming live, or
Yes,
it will?
Yes, it will. Yes, they will be streaming it live on Facebook. So for the people that can't make it, go ahead and check it out on Facebook. We will be streaming live. And you can enjoy the concert there, and be part of what we're doing there with that ministry. So yeah, definitely go ahead and save that date and try to make it there live.
Hey, well, best wishes on this concert. I know it's going to be a wonderful time for the people that are going to be able to go see it, and best wishes on your plane. And wow, I can't wait to hear how it was when you get back. Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're planning on having fun, so it's going to be a great event. So thank you so much for your support.
Absolutely.
Always.
So what else do you have coming up? Do you have any upcoming projects coming up?
So Jacob Webb and I, Jacob Webb is the owner of Next Paradigm Records, which I've been with them now a little bit over a year, and we are going to be working on a CD, hopefully to release by next year. We've been making all these songs that we've been releasing, and I got some more songs coming up, songs that I've written, and songs that Jacob is writing for me, and we're going to take all those songs and hopefully make a great CD, and release it hopefully sometime next year. So definitely a new project coming up. We don't have a name yet. We don't have a release date yet, but we are working on more music, and hopefully, we'll be able to release that next year. So stay in tune for that.
Yeah, when you release it, you got to get in contact with me, because you got to spotlight it on the show. I've got to hear it. I'm sorry.
Definitely.
There's just no way around it. There's no way around it.
You'll be one of the first ones to know about it.
I appreciate that.
I really appreciate your support. So definitely, yes, you'll have a copy in your hands very soon.
We've known you for almost at least a year. This is like this may be your third time on.
I think it's my third time on. Yes. The second time was a little bit over a year. I believe this is my third time. So I'm very grateful for you and for your show, and for everybody else.
Yeah, you're part of the Friday Night Live family now. You're stuck with us. That's just the way it is.
I'm stuck with you guys.
Yes.
And it's a blessing.
Yes, it's a blessing to have you. We are honored all the time whenever you can have, I know you're very busy. And so it's an honor every time you come and hang out with us. Listen, I just want to thank you so much for giving up your time today. And it's Friday night. I know there are other things you could have been doing on a Friday night besides here. And, I really appreciate it. Best wishes on your concert and your upcoming events. And I'm going to let you end the interview with one more selection.
Absolutely.
What you going to do?
I am going to do one of my favorite worship songs of all time. Okay. And it's called How Great Is Our God. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nelson Garcia.
Bless you guys.
That was beautiful, Nelson. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
A total blessing to be here again. Um, very blessed and always here at your service. Just a wonderful opportunity, to give by grace what by grace we have received. So thank you,
Yeah,
Kat.
absolutely. Take care. We'll see you
Bye-bye.
soon. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Okay. All right. Did you all enjoy Nelson Garcia? Yes, 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 yes. All right, we're getting ready to go to the second half. I got my good friend, Dr. Ronald Rembert Jr. standing by. We're going to be talking about diabetes. Yes, we're going to be talking about diabetes. He's got some good stuff for us. But before we do that, I got to give something away. All right, here is our trivia question. What was the first soft drink in space? Put it in the comments. Do you know? I bet you don't. I bet you don't know. You don't know. I wonder if Dr. Rembert knows. He might know. I bet. Yeah, don't put him on. He might give the answer away. Don't put him on yet. All right. So if you think you know what it is, put it in the comments. All right. We're getting ready to start our preventative measures. We're going to find out who the winner is a little bit later. All right. My good friend, Dr. Ronald Rembert, I have known him almost 20 years. No, maybe 10 to 12 years. I'm going to ask him when I get on there. But he has been practicing family medicine for over 20 years. He is also a national recording artist by his own right. He plays the saxophone. Please welcome back to Friday Night Live, Dr. Ronald Rembert Jr. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, Dr. Rembert?
I'm good. How about yourself, Kat?
Absolutely.
Or should I say Dr. Kat?
I know my first years on here, they are just so awesome. This class has been a wonderful class to teach this year. It really has. And we are almost done, and they're doing very well this semester. And so I'm really excited to have them on. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's really a joy. So it's really good to have you back on the show. I know we're going to be talking about diabetes. I don't want to prolong the time, so we have time to take questions if there's some. So I'm going to leave it up to you, and then I'll just follow your lead. So go right ahead.
Awesome. Thanks, Kat. Before we get started, I want to give this brief medical disclaimer. The information being shared is not for medical advice, but intended for informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The presenters are not responsible nor liable for any advice, course of treatment, diagnosis, or any outcomes for anyone who watched, listened to, or participated in this presentation. If you think you may have a medical emergency, immediately call your doctor or dial 911. That being said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about diabetes this evening. So I'm just going to give an overview and then we can kind of go from there. But diabetes is a condition where your body either doesn't produce enough insulin, which is a chemical that your body needs to take sugar out of your bloodstream into the organs that need them, except for the brain, which just takes sugar out of the bloodstream directly, or your body becomes resistant and doesn't use insulin effectively. Now, insulin is produced by your pancreas. It's an organ in our stomach, not too far from the stomach. And this hormone basically helps to control the level of our sugar, the sugars that we eat in our bloodstream. So with diabetes, what ends up happening, if you're not producing enough insulin or your body's not responding to the insulin that you're producing, your blood sugar gets elevated. And as it gets elevated over time, you can start having symptoms, including increased thirst, urinary frequency, where you're constantly urinating, may have dry mouth, weight loss. And if it becomes very high, you can even have changes in your mental status Or if your body goes into what's called diabetic ketoacidosis, you can start producing ketones, which is a chemical that our bodies make to substitute for the sugars that our body can't absorb when this happens. And you could potentially go into a coma or even die. Now, with diabetes, there is no cure, but it's controlled with lifestyle changes, including diet and exercise, as well as other treatments that we can use, either oral medications and injections such as insulin. So it's important for people to find out or basically be tested for diabetes if they're having symptoms. We also recommend that people, get checked on a regular basis because these elevated blood sugar levels can cause damage to various body organs. You can have damage to your eyes called retinopathy, where the increased blood sugar can damage the blood vessels in the eye. And this is one of the leading causes of preventable blindness that we see. It can also damage your kidneys, where you can have nephropathy and over time have decreased kidney function, where you could potentially lose function in the kidneys and have to have dialysis, which is basically a mechanical filtration of your blood and the waste out of the blood. You can have diabetic neuropathy, where it affects the nerves in various areas of the body and can have numbness, tingling, and increased risk for injuries and infections because of the diabetes. You can also have increased risk for heart attack and stroke associated with it. Now, it's saying a lot, but because we see diabetes so commonly, this is something that we need to address on a regular basis. And just to give you some perspective, more than 34 million people in the United States are living with diabetes. This is over 10% of our population. And
Wow.
over 7 million people are living with diabetes right now and don't even know it.
Wow.
So on top of that, we have approximately 90 million Americans who have prediabetes, which is abnormal, elevated serum glucose, elevated blood sugar, but it's not high enough where they've been formally diagnosed with diabetes. And every year, 1.5 million Americans are diagnosed with diabetes. Unfortunately, diabetes affects African Americans, Latinos, Asians, and indigenous people here in the United States more so than it does white people. And nearly 27% of people over the age of 65 have diabetes. Now, there are several types of diabetes: type 1, type 2, and gestational diabetes. And I'll go into a little detail about each of these.
Okay.
Type 1 diabetes, this is where your body can't produce insulin because there's destruction of the cells in the pancreas, that organ that I mentioned that produces insulin. There are cells in the pancreas called beta cells that get destroyed by our own immune system. Now, this doesn't happen commonly, thank God, but the thing is, we see this a lot in children and in young adults, but it can occur in any age. And this is not the most common type. The most common type we see is type 2 diabetes, typically in adults. And it was previously known as adult onset diabetes, but we're seeing more and more younger people have this because it is associated with insulin resistance. Basically, your body is producing insulin, but it's not responding to that insulin. And we see this more commonly in people who are overweight and obese. And we see this more and more in our young people because we have more and more young people who are overweight and obese. There's also gestational diabetes, which is a type of diabetes that develops during pregnancy. So when this happens, either the mother's not producing enough insulin or is becoming resistant to the insulin she's producing. And this can be managed in various ways, typically with diet and exercise, but in some cases, the mothers may require insulin during pregnancy. Now, I talked about prediabetes. This is the state in which your blood sugar is elevated, but it's not elevated to the point where you have a formal diagnosis of diabetes. Now, typically, we're diagnosing diabetes by checking several things: either fasting blood sugar, where you don't eat anything for about 8 hours before the test, and then we draw your blood, and a result of 126 milligrams per deciliter or higher gives us the diagnosis of diabetes. We also look at an oral glucose tolerance test, and we're checking somebody's fasting glucose. And with this test, we give someone a drink that has a certain amount of sugar in it or glucose in it, and then we check their blood sugar approximately 2 hours later. A result of 200 milligrams per deciliter or higher results in the diagnosis of diabetes. We also look at hemoglobin A1c. The hemoglobin is a part of our blood that can be affected by that elevated blood sugar. And over a period of time, typically about 3 months, we can see changes in that hemoglobin. A result of 6.5%, basically 6.5% of that hemoglobin being affected by that elevated blood sugar, typically leads to that diagnosis of diabetes. But in people with prediabetes, they can have a hemoglobin A1c of approximately 5.7 up to 6.5, and we're looking at that and diagnosing them with prediabetes. Now, as I mentioned, diabetes, there's no cure, but we can control it. And we control it in various ways. Physical activity, with the foods that we eat, including reducing the number of carbohydrates, especially processed foods, candies, soft drinks that have a lot of sugars in it. And I thought it was kind of ironic that you asked about the first soft drink on the space shuttle. I'm like,
Oops.
yeah, we'll be talking about that in a little bit. But we're seeing people who drink a lot of those sugary beverages over time can have elevated serum glucose. So we're definitely recommending to cut those high sugar drinks out of people's diets, especially once you've been diagnosed with either prediabetes or with diabetes, because those routinely not only elevate your blood sugar, but it can do so very quickly because as you're drinking those liquids that have those sugars in them, they get absorbed into your bloodstream far quicker than the food that you eat that contains sugar in it. But we're recommending basically changes in your diet and exercise. These are the first treatments that we recommend for anyone with either prediabetes or diabetes. For people who have type 1 diabetes, their treatment is insulin because their bodies cannot make insulin. The beta cells in the pancreas have been destroyed. So they typically have to inject insulin, and in some cases would benefit from the placement of an insulin pump, a device that's placed in their body that releases insulin on a regular basis. But then also they have to check their insulin or their blood sugar levels on a regular basis to make sure it's not too much insulin that's being released, because if you release too much insulin, you can become hypoglycemic. Hypoglycemic is when your blood sugar drops so low that you can begin to have symptoms, lightheadedness, headache, changes in your mental status. You can even pass out, and if it becomes too low, you could potentially die. So we need to monitor our blood sugars on a regular basis for those who've been diagnosed with diabetes or prediabetes if it's not under control. In type 2 diabetes, we're recommending diet and exercise as the initial treatments. But if diet and exercise alone don't control your blood sugar, then we begin using oral medications and, if necessary, insulin or other injectables. Now, one of the main medications that we use is a medication called Metformin. It's a biguanide. It's a medication that increases sugar production by the liver, but it increases the uptake of that sugar that's in your bloodstream by the muscles. And in doing so, basically reduces that sugar in the bloodstream so that it lowers your blood sugar over time. Metformin is relatively effective in treating diabetes initially, depending on the dosing that you use, but there are side effects that can be associated with it, including diarrhea that you may have initially when taking it, but over time that can improve. You also have to make sure you're checking their liver function to make sure it's not being affected by the metformin, and checking their blood sugars on a regular basis to make sure their blood sugars aren't getting too low or remaining too high. Now, if medications like metformin aren't effective, you can add other medications like sulfonylureas, like glipizide, glyburide, and glimepiride. And these increase the pancreas's ability to secrete or make insulin, where insulin now can be released more so from the pancreas. And this is for type 2 diabetics who can still make insulin, because some type 2 diabetics don't make insulin as well as they used to, because sometimes they can have destruction of those beta cells in the pancreas also over time, similar to those that have type 1 diabetes mellitus. There are also other medications that we can use, like GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor agonists. These increase insulin secretion. They also decrease glucagon secretion, a chemical that helps to control your blood sugar as well, but it delays food coming through your stomach. When I was talking about soft drinks and how fast those sugars are absorbed in our bloodstream, medications like these GLP-1s can slow down the food coming through your stomach so that the sugars aren't being released into your bloodstream as quickly, and can also give you a feeling of fullness where you're not overeating. Some of the medications in this particular category include Byetta, Trulicity, Ozempic, and Bydureon. And these medications have been effective, but usually we don't use these as a first-line medication. We also have DPP-4 inhibitors, dipeptidase 4 inhibitors, and these increase insulin secretion also like the GLP-1s and decrease glucagon secretion by the pancreas. These are medications like Januvia, Tradjenta, that can also be effective in helping control a patient's blood sugar. We also have other medications like TZDs, and let me pronounce this correctly, thiazolonidones or glitazones that increase our sugar uptake in the muscle and the fat, kind of like the metformin does in the muscle.
Sounds like there are a whole bunch of different types of medicines that are available for this condition.
There are.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So I wanted to have time to do a few questions. So I didn't want to interrupt you, but did you have a little bit more you want to say, or you want to take a few questions? Is it okay?
We can go ahead and take questions, definitely.
Okay. So November is National Diabetes Month. And so we are so excited to have Dr. Rembert here to talk about diabetes. If you have any particular questions, please type them in the comments, and then we're going to try to get as many as we can on the show. I have a question while we're waiting on questions. Are there any symptoms that a person will experience that they need to be aware of, that to go to the doctor? Are there symptoms that you may have diabetes or?
Yes.
Okay. What are those?
Symptoms that you want to look for include increased thirst, increased urination, dry eyes, dry mouth, changes in your vision, weight loss, and increased hunger. If you know somebody that's eating a lot and they're still losing weight and having these associated symptoms, but some of the main symptoms include that increased thirst and increased urination. This occurs when that sugar is elevated in your bloodstream and your kidneys is trying to get rid of that excess sugar. So it ends up excreting it in the urine. And the more sugar that's in your bloodstream, the more your kidneys have to work to get rid of that. So you urinate more frequently, but that sugar also draws the fluid out of your body as well. So you have increased thirst associated with it as well.
Okay. Here's a question. When treating diabetes, what is the success rate of maintaining this condition, and how does this affect life expectancy?
Excellent question, Rod. When treating diabetes, the success rate is based on people's willingness to change their lifestyle. And I'm speaking from experience. The patients that I've seen have the most success are the ones who are willing to change their diet and exercise, along with take medications if they're needed. But it starts off with those lifestyle changes, because we can put you on multiple medications to treat diabetes, but if you're still eating a lot of sugars, especially those processed sugars, drinking a lot of sugary beverages, no matter how much we treat you, you can still have elevated blood sugars to the point where it's affecting various organs, like I mentioned before, the eyes, the kidney, the heart, your brain, your nerves. And this decreases your life expectancy. Because if you're at increased risk for heart attack, stroke, blindness, neuropathy, which can lead to damage to, your feet, your toes, increased risk of amputations, secondary to, loss of function, infections, it decreases your life expectancy. And if it's uncontrolled, like completely out of control, it can severely decrease your life expectancy.
Wow. Okay. Here's another question. What constitutes the difference between pre-diabetic and diabetic individuals?
It's also an excellent question. Thank you, Kayla. Pre-diabetic individuals are those who have typically a hemoglobin A1c between 5.7% and 6.5%. When we check their serum glucose, fasting serum glucose is typically less than 126, but maybe greater than 100. When we check a 2-hour glucose tolerance test, the pre-diabetics typically will have a serum glucose that's less than 200. But the thing is, those who are pre-diabetic are disposed to developing diabetes if it's left untreated. So that's why we recommend the lifestyle changes in your diet and exercise, so that those who are pre-diabetic can potentially not go on to develop diabetes.
Okay. I have a question because I have a lot of dental students, first-year dental students on, and they are pursuing their dreams of being professional dentists, which I know that they will be. Can you
Awesome.
give us, is there any relationship or correlation between diabetes and oral health? Can you tie the two together?
Absolutely. There is a correlation between diabetes and oral health. In diabetes, as I mentioned, you have increased sugar in your bloodstream. You can also have increased serum or sugar in your saliva. And from eating and drinking sugary beverages, increase sugar in the mouth. And if you're not practicing good oral hygiene, those sugars can allow the bacteria in the mouth to overgrow and increase your risk for dental cavities or caries, as well as gum disease over a period of time. And those who develop diabetes also have slower healing times, and it's difficult for them to treat oral disease once it's begun. The best treatment for those who have diabetes that have associated oral disease is keeping their diabetes under control. As they lower that serum or blood glucose and the glucose that they're taking in, it reduces the amount of sugar available for that bacteria to grow in your mouth, to reduce the development of cavities, oral infections, and gum disease that can develop over time.
Thank you, Dr. Rembert. Okay, here is another question. If someone has diabetes, are there different levels of diabetes within patients?
Definitely. Excellent question, Brian. With diabetes, our goal is to get it under control, to have the patient's hemoglobin A1c at or below 6.5%. In patients who have that elevated hemoglobin A1c, that test where we check every 3 months, it gives us an accurate assessment. Even when, and I've had patients do this, when they come to the office, they won't eat anything. I check a random blood sugar. It looks like it's under control. I check a hemoglobin A1c and it's elevated, sometimes above 10% or more. When it starts getting up to 8, 9, 10% or higher, those patients are running blood sugars on a regular basis, sometimes in the 300s or 400s. Over time, that's leading to damage in the vessels in their eyes, kidneys, their nerves, brain, heart, and other organs. And what ends up happening, we see complications associated with diabetes in those patients. Those are the patients you're sending, and you're sending all of your diabetic patients for regular retinopathy or eye exams to check the blood vessels in the eye to make sure that there's no damage related to the diabetes. In these patients who are uncontrolled, you may have to send them more frequently to get their eyes checked. You may have to send them more frequently to a neurologist or someone who can check to make sure there's not damage to the nerves from the diabetes. Send them to a cardiologist or a critical care specialist to make sure that their heart and brain aren't being affected. Sending them to the dentist more regularly because now they're having associated oral disease because their blood sugar is uncontrolled. So yeah, there are different levels where either they're in control or under control, or they're not controlled. And the more out of control they are, the more likely they are to develop complications, including I've had patients who have had to have toes, feet, and even legs amputated because of uncontrolled diabetes and the complications associated with it.
Mm, okay. Should diabetic patients watch how many calories they intake in general or just watch sugar intake?
Excellent question, William. Diabetic patients should look at their calories and their sugar intake. Typically, we should have about 2,000 calories in our diet, depending on what our metabolism is or how our metabolism functions, as well as our size and the activity level. The more activity, more calories we may require. But someone with diabetes has to be aware of the calories they take in, as well as the blood sugar, for several reasons. In patients who are obese and overweight, they have increased risk of insulin resistance, where the insulin that our bodies make, it doesn't respond. Our bodies don't respond to that insulin the way someone without diabetes does. And in those patients who have an abundance of calories over time, you can have weight gain, and that can lead to insulin resistance in some cases.
Okay. How do you get your patients to change their lifestyle?
Excellent question, Julia. For me personally, and this is something I've seen, people respond to what they see. I've had patients who've seen me go through weight loss changes, and I've gone through a weight loss journey myself, during which I lost over 100 pounds at one point. And when the patients saw me doing this and saw me exercising and participating in, there was a gym that I was participating online where people could see some of the things that we were doing. They felt inspired to do some of the same things as well, because they felt if I could do it, they could do it. And when they would come in the office and see me noticeably smaller and moving faster and feeling better and doing much better, they felt better. So a lot of times when people see what you're doing, it helps them so that they can emulate what you're doing. You're not just talking to them. They see you doing it.
Okay. Hi, Derek. Okay. How long can a person survive with type 2 diabetes without insulin injections?
Derek, thanks for the question. That varies, and that varies because it depends on how well controlled that patient's diabetes is. Some people will never require insulin because they're able to control their diabetes with diet and exercise. And I've seen it. I've had patients who have lost significant amount of weight, and I've had to take them off of their diabetic medications because they were able to control it with just diet and exercise alone. So it can vary. Some people can live an entire lifetime without requiring insulin. Some people, if their blood sugars are elevated significantly, may require insulin in the short term.
Okay. Is pre-diabetes reversible? Can one be pre-diabetic go back with can one with pre-diabetes go back to normal?
That's a good question. I look at it this way. If you're pre-diabetic, we're always going to look at you as being pre-diabetic, even though you can control your blood sugar and can control your weight and lifestyle changes. Because once you've been diagnosed with pre-diabetes, we need to monitor you more closely for the development of diabetes. So it may be possible to go back in terms of, controlling your blood sugar to the point it's normal, controlling your weight so that you're not obese or overweight any longer. But at the same time, we still need to monitor you more closely because at one point you were diagnosed with prediabetes.
Okay. Jacob says, why not dentistry? I'm not sure what he's talking about. Jacob, Give
Are
me the
you asking why I
clarification.
didn't go into dentistry as opposed to going into medicine?
Oh, maybe that's what he meant. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know
I
what he meant?
always wanted to be a physician, even when I was a little kid. That was one of my dreams. So I pursued it, and thank God, and worked hard for it. But I was able to accomplish that, and able to help literally thousands of people.
Hi, Jessica. Do patients with pre-diabetes exhibit symptoms?
Excellent question, Jessica. Yes, patients with prediabetes can exhibit some of the same symptoms of people with diabetes. If they have elevated serum glucose, they can have the increased thirst, the increased urination, the blurred vision, can have numbness, tingling, or associated symptoms, dry mouth, other things like that. They can absolutely demonstrate those symptoms, although they may not be as severe as someone with diabetes.
Okay. Hey, Jada. What is the most extreme case of diabetes you have seen?
Wow. Good question, Jada. I've seen quite a few cases of diabetes to the point I've had patients come into my office with diabetic foot ulcers that you could stick several fingers in. And I've had to clean and debride and basically perform, surgery to try and clean that up, or send them to a surgeon or a podiatrist who had to perform surgery on them. I've had patients who have had to have their legs amputated because of uncontrolled diabetes and the development of infection and gangrene and basically dead tissue with the diabetes. With the neuropathy that develops in patients who have uncontrolled diabetes, if they injure themselves, they may not feel it because the nerves are damaged. And some of those patients have had, ulcers that developed over a period of time that have spread with infection associated with it, to the point you've had to amputate parts of their body to save their lives. So I've seen some pretty extreme cases, including some people who have had to lose entire legs.
Okay. Hi, Lauren. Can gestational diabetes affect the size of your baby?
Excellent question, Lauren. Yes, gestational diabetes can affect the size of your baby. That increased serum glucose, that increased blood sugar that the mother's carrying around, does get transmitted to the baby. And over time, the baby can become large for their age as the mother continues to carry them to term. And some babies that are born to mothers that have gestational diabetes have been larger than normal babies to those born to mothers without gestational diabetes.
Dr. Rembert, we're right at the 8 o'clock hour. I wanted to get your permission. I have a few more questions. Is it okay if we go over a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Can you speak to patients who have seen to get diabetes as they move towards nursing home or at home care? I ask because my grandmother was in good health, had a stroke, and developed diabetes after.
Okay. First of all, Rod, my sincere condolences to your grandmother in her current situation. When I talked about lifestyle changes, exercise and activity lower our serum glucose, because as we utilize our muscles use that insulin to take sugar out of the bloodstream into the muscles that need that sugar for energy. If your grandmother had a stroke and had impairment in her movement after that, as well as, I don't know what her medical conditions were beforehand. I don't know if she had prediabetes or any of those other things associated with it. But in some cases, the things that may have led up to the stroke may have also led up to her developing diabetes as well. So I can't speak specifically to that condition or to her medical condition because I don't know the full details. And I gave the disclaimer earlier. But the thing is if her activity was affected as well as her diet, you can see potentially the development of diabetes in some individuals. It's not always the case, but that may be one possibility in this particular case.
Hi, Natalie. Is diabetes in children more hereditary or is it due to diet?
Excellent question, Natalie. Typically, it's due to diet, but there is a hereditary component to it. Children are more likely to develop diabetes if they have relatives that have diabetes. But ultimately, we see diabetes as a function of diet and exercise. So we look more so at their diet and activity levels, but we do look at family history as well.
What, if any, is the correlation between diabetes and hypertension?
Thank you, Shirley, for the question. There is a correlation between diabetes and hypertension because as that elevated sugar in your bloodstream starts affecting various parts of your body, it can also affect the blood vessels that carry the blood through your bloodstream. And as those blood vessels become either damaged where they can't bend and they're not as pliable or flexible as they used to be, there can also be plaque formation, which is a buildup of cholesterol over a period of time that can increase not only your blood pressure and make it harder for your heart to pump against those increased pressures, but can increase the risk for stroke and heart attack as well.
Okay, I think that we got all of them. We're ready to get everybody in. Dr. Rembert, thank you so much for giving up your time. I know you had to work and then you came and had to and give us some information about diabetes. I really appreciate your time. I think this was a very informative subject, something that needs to be talked about. Thank you, everyone that asked all the good questions. I'm going to let you close it out, and then we're going to find out who the winner is. They're saying
Awesome.
thank you to you, Dr. Rembert.
Thanks, everyone, for having me. Thank you, Kat, for having me on the show again. Hopefully this was informational and you can use this information moving forward. But thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we'll be talking soon, okay?
Have a good night.
Okay. All right. Cheryl.
Yes.
I'm over here pushing thank yous. Okay. So did you all learn a lot from our preventative measures? Diabetes. Yes. Okay. So we got some business to take care of. We got to find out who the winner is. Okay. So can I move? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the question was, what was the first soft drink in space? So water is not a soft drink. So I hope nobody click that. But the correct answer is, it just disappeared. The correct answer is Coca-Cola. Yes, it is. Coca-Cola is the correct answer. So do we have a winner, Cheryl?
We sure do have a winner.
All right. Who is our winner?
Our winner for the night is Miss Kiana James. Kiana James on Facebook. You there, girl?
Kiana James?
Yes.
Kiana James, congratulations, Kiana. Let me show you what you won. I'm just playing. Kiana. Okay, so Kiana, K-E-Y?
Keynna.
All right, so we have some candles on here. Put in the comments which one you want. You can have either one. These are Bath and Body Works candles, just the perfect gift for the holidays. Which flavor would you like, Kiana? Let me know which one you want. And then what I need you to do is go to my Friday Night Live Facebook page. I need your mailing address. Send me your mailing address so that I can get this to you. So there are quite a few to choose from. Has she put did she pick what she want yet?
She's on YouTube right now. She has not put what she wanted yet.
Okay. Want to send a shout out to my first year dental class. I'm just so excited. Tarsha, they on here laughing. Kiana.
Well, Jacob answered for her. I don't know if that's a legit answer.
Oh, that's okay. But congratulations. Can I have some music under my voice? I feel a little raspy.
A little raspy.
Okay, so You know what? Nelson had put something in the comments. Dr. Ronald Rembert put, thanks everybody. And Nelson had put something on here too. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. We want to thank Nelson Garcia for coming in again to hang out with us this evening. Yes. OMG, that was wonderful. Wasn't that wonderful?
Yes, it was.
Yes. All right. And oh wait. Let me get Nelson off. Okay, let me let you do it because you're touching the mouse and I can't do anything while you. My media director is over here touching the mouse, y'all. Okay, and so thank you, Nelson Garcia. Thank you once again for hanging out with us. Thank you, Dr. Ronald Rembert Jr. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Next week, we have national recording artist Russell Blake. He is also a renowned artist, a fitness trainer, a professional, and he's a domestic violence advocate. He is going to be here next week. We have some books to give away. It's going to be a great time. So if you're not busy, make sure you come and hang out with us next Friday. Want to send a shout out to Kevin Moore. He was our song at the beginning, Last Call.
Mm-hmm. He popped in for a second too.
Yes, so let's give some shout outs and then we're going to let you guys go and enjoy your weekend. So let's do some Cheryl shout outs. All right, you want your, let's see. Cheryl shout out.
Okay, let's see who we got here. We have Miss Sherry Johnson. Hey, Sherry Johnson, it's so good to see you. We have Walter Williams. Moving over to YouTube. He is the president of the NAACP chapter of Edwardsville. How you doing, Walter? Happy Friday. It's good to see you. We have, hey, Gigi. That's my gorgeous grandmother there. Mwah. Happy birth month to you. We have Mother DeVos popping in again. It's always good to see you. Love you. We have Miss Bonnie Wilson as well, representing on YouTube. It's always good to have you, girl. Hey, Tina Wilson on Facebook, popping in. It's good to see you. Mrs. Gerald. Hey, Mrs. Gerald. I'll never forget you. It's always good to see you. It is. We also have Auntie Mamie in the house. Hey, Auntie Mamie. Happy Friday. We have Maximus to the Max over on YouTube, which is, if I'm not mistaken, Derek, one of your students, representing on YouTube. It's good to see you. I see donuts make you happy. Donuts make me happy too. I understand. It is okay. Welcome. You're one of us. We have, let's see. Oh, we have Miss Rose Lady Edmond. It's been a minute.
Hey,
so
Rose
good
Lady.
To see you. Miss Jada Poole, another one of Dr. Carter's students, class of 2025. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed. We have Jason Giuliano popping in as well. We hope you enjoyed as well. Thank you for checking us out. We also have Jose Morales on YouTube. Thank you for checking in. We are so glad you enjoyed Nelson Garcia, and we hope you keep coming back. We have Kayla Ringo. Hey, Kayla, on Facebook. Yes. Thank you for checking us out. We have so many. Just so many. Thank you. Just thank you. All the love. Thank you. We have Chase Small as well, repping up for Dr. Carter. We have D-Rock over representing on YouTube, which I found was the dumbest.
Oh, Jada.
It's good to see you. We have Lady Jackson as well. Hey, Lady Jackson, happy Friday. We also have Jacob McGiles repping for my mother again, Dr. Carter. We have Lillian Williams. Hey, Lillian, it's good to see you. Ronald Rembert Jr. popped in to say hey and give Nelson Garcia some props. Great show, both of you. We're so glad to have you. Hey, Miss Karan Edmonds, girl. We are so glad you're here. Tayshar Harkless. I believe that's another one of your students.
Yeah, that's one of my great
Hey,
students.
Tayshar. Welcome. We also have William Christensen. He's going to be adding some of Nelson Garcia to his hot yoga playlist, apparently. I'm here for it. We also have Faisal Shahade. Welcome. I hope you enjoy.
All of the class of 2025s on here.
Woo-hoo.
They're gonna do it too. This is gonna be this graduation ceremony. I probably will cry because I'm getting really close to some. They have really great personalities. Great students.
Let's see who else we got here. We also we have Kevin Moore as always popping in. It's always good to have you here, Kevin. We're gonna have to have you back on the show though soon. We have Will Phillips also on YouTube. Hey, Will Phillips, thank you for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed. We also have Nate Peterson and crashing in the background. Nate Peterson joining us on Facebook. It's so good to see you. Hope you enjoyed and hope to see you come back. We have Auntie T as well. Hey, Auntie T. Mwah. We have Rod Jordan on YouTube as well. I think another one of your students. Welcome.
These comments are just so funny. I'm listening, but I'm looking at the comments.
We also had Lauren Allen. I think another one of your students popping in.
Hey, Lauren.
We had Emily Thornberry hopping in from the class of 2025.
Hey, Emily. Yay.
We had Mubin Al-Noor as well. Welcome.
Nelson Garcia's wife, Millie was on here. Hey.
Hi, Millie.
Hey.
Oh, there she is, Millie Valdez. Hi. Natalia Sapinko.
She's one of the students
so sorry.
too.
I'm sure I did not get that correct, but welcome. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you enjoyed. We have Youngie.
Oh,
Vera.
yeah, we got Gross Lab Monday.
Hey, today is Friday. Enjoy your Friday. Celebrate. Rest up. And the weekend's tomorrow.
Hey, they're kicking butt. This class is kicking butt. They're doing it. We're almost done.
We also have Jazzy K. Ward popping in.
Jazzy! He's another. He's a radio announcer.
Mm-hmm.
He has a show on. He's actually at a radio station, but he does a show on Facebook and he's on Instagram. He's all over the place.
I wish I was that fluid.
Yeah, he's awesome.
We also have Brian C. Balbullet.
Yes. Hey, Brian.
But thank you for joining us. I hope you come back. We have Julia Friesel. Hey, Julia.
Hey, Julia.
We also have Jessica Vestal. Hi. Just so many SIU students.
Mm-hmm.
So good to see you. We are so glad we can just share as much information as we can and just. We have Chase Small as well. Hi, Chase.
Hey, Chase.
Well, Hannah Harsh.
Hannah.
We have. Is that it?
If we missed your name, charge it to our head and not our heart. If you don't leave a comment, we don't know that you're on. So.
Oh, and Gaynell.
Hey, Gaynell. That's Dr. Rembert's wife. That's my girl. All right. Have a great and safe weekend. And Lord willing, we'll see you next week. Same time, same platform. All right, class of 2025. Yoo-hoo! See you Monday.